Alright, and welcome back to Early Morning Shogun. It's about 6:30 now, and I'm still here bringing you the Shogun videos, of course I am. Here on this side we do have DayDre3amer, spelled but I assume you like to call it DayDre3amer. And on the side we have ArTy99. As you can see already, he's got some Nagata Warrior Monk Cavalry blitzkrieging through these forests here. So, Day on this side obviously knows that he's got some units there. Most of ArTy's men seem to be concealed by the trees. As you can see here, some of his katana units have just disappeared. He's got his advertised bodyguard out there as well. Slightly smaller game today, slightly slim pickings at this time of night, though it still can prove interesting. It's always slightly more interesting in most cases, but over here he seems to have a lot of cavalry for ArTy. He's got some mounted gunners, he's got some of his Yari here as well. Nagata Warrior Monk Cavalry. Over here you can see his units. He's got some lone sword, got some long Yari Ashigari, be useful against these cavalry charging up on this side here. He's also has some matchlock Ashigari. One wants to halt them, try and get some gunfire. Also the most important news now probably to bring them back. Though Day on this side is going to be pretty careful of those long Yari Ashigari, because his cavalry will take heavy casualties in that. Plus now he's got his general and the set of lone sword here to hit from the side, try and sandwich him in to try and halt that retreat back. He's starting to waver now, but a lot of his cavalry has made it, so he should be okay with this despite the lack of that morale. Oh, that flag's gone. No, it's not, it's just moved. Whoa. So I'll put a fair amount of casualties in that one, just over half his men. He's going to be careful now because ArTy on this side is going to get the morale shrine. And Day seems to come back for another charge, noticing that he has left his gunners completely open. Gunners are moving quickly across to try and get the shot up. It's going to be close. Oh, some fire has gone off there. That is incredibly lucky there for ArTy. Oh, we've got only 7 men of his cavalry left. Even in melee now, the archers, my apologies, the Matchlock Ashigari will probably win that, as you see there. And they have started to rout. So, only lost. Okay, still did lose quite a bit of men in that. They lost 22 in the charge. Over on this side, as you can see now, knowing that he's lost and his opponent is going to capture the shrine on that side, he's going to come down and get the sword dojo. He's got a lot of Yari infantry, so he's got quite a lot of Nagata samurai, and he's got some warrior monks as well. Against the cavalry on this side, doesn't really have much to worry. He's got some fire cavalry in the trees as well. Do nice to charge his, but prolonged melee, as you might be aware of, fire cavalry are pretty much non-existent to useful. And you can see here, Dave's got some bow war monks as well. The only range units I've seen from ArTy are those matchlock, and obviously the mountain gunners down there, but the range in them would be outbeat by the archers, so nice harassment could be played on this side, but he's got to be careful with the harassment due to all these cavalry can outmaneuver it fairly easily. It's time to start it. And on the side, Dave's bringing up his warrior monk cavalry. Against that sort of numbers and the gunners as well for that morale shock on the first line of fire. He's got to be careful. As you can see, he's got a lot of Yari infantry down here. Some archers now doing a slight volley. Managed to climb into the set of watches there. Took down a couple. Well, one. Fire cavalry against Nagata. The monk cavalry will win that battle, but the only problem with that, if the fire cavalry keeps hitting and pulling back, he will suffer a lot more casualties that way. Now keeping up the fire cavalry in melee, not too hard when you got other sets of cavalry as well. As you can see now, ArTy now brings his general down upon the left hand side here. Capturing the shrine. He's now able to divide his forces, regroup them at the bottom here, and do one charge or push across. Good from here, he's also got the high ground currently at the moment. So with his guns put on the highlights, you can still do a lot more damage to pull them away before any units get around and do any other additional damage. With that being said, you've got to be careful of these warrior monks here with their range. Didn't minimize that one. Some cavalry in these trees that were hidden. Some Yari cavalry versus his Nagata warrior monks. going to be quite even in this fight with the rank differences. They're saying that, as you can see here, Day's got his Nagata Samurai come up close by, and Archie doesn't really want to have his units into that long in melee. He wants to leave before they get here. So he's going to try and pull back. Horses decided to walk up the hill while still being charged at by the monks. Starting to waver a little bit now. If he keeps up this pressure and manages to do quite well, he might manage to waver and break them. Though he's decided to pull back his Yari infantry at the moment. A war cry ability has been dropped. The warrior monks' most useful ability in their arsenal. Though that still doesn't really be put in his favour. The times could change, of course. It's quite on edge. Cavalry battles like this are always kind of interesting, and by the looks of it, Day has managed to win that, completely routed that set of cavalry. He's going to want to fall back now, as you can see here. Artie's bringing out another set of cavalry himself. He's got some warrior monks. He's going to be very careful. Day has to be very careful of that cavalry. Now, especially since he lost his unit quite early on that side. As you can see with slight sound off, Archie doesn't really want to give his advantage off this hill and the tree lines he's got here. Same really with Day. He's got some nice tree lines here to shroud some of his units. Though with the range he has on his warrior monks, he has enough support for them, especially with the amount of samurai units and the Yari infantry which Day has. He could cover them reasonably easy, especially to the cavalry pushes and charges. Then if he doesn't be careful about it, if the cavalry divide and split and hit from multiple angles at once. So it's always wise to bring out like 2, maybe 3 sets of his Yari infantry covering the flanks on behind. You can see you push up right here on the left hand side here, trying to reorganise them. Tree lines, if Artie wants to carry on with keep up his stealth advantage, he's going to have to move very slowly, so reorganising his lines will be his disadvantage here, especially if Day hits very heavily from one angle. He could do a lot of damage. Though he'll always be careful because he doesn't know where his units are set up, plus he's got cavalry still hidden in these trees which will be able to move very quickly to try and delay any form of setup he might have. Need to be careful a little bit here. Oh, as you can see, he's got his gunners now showing, trying to move them across the tree lines a little bit. These guys here are sticking out, not shrouded with the tree lines. He's going to be spotted, as you can see. And already the archers are taking a high advantage of that. They are very highly ranked, so their aim will be much higher than it once was. Starting to run now, get out of this arrow fire. Lost a couple of men in this volley, I believe. Yeah, he's lost a guy there. Being chased down now by these set of cavalry. He's going to be careful because he's got a load of cavalry in the trees, and as you can see there, mounted gunners pull out straight away. Though he knows that's probably going to happen, so he's going to be very quick on the mark to retrieve those. Doesn't really want to give chase now if I were. Oh, some gunfire went off. That could be very dangerous. I'm not quite sure if Artie's going to try and pursue this into any form of melee. No, he's going to hold up. He's going to be careful. Might be wise to put his men into use formation there to stop some of this bulk of arrow fire. So you can see now they are starting to waver. Oh, he has lost a lot of men in archery fire, and that managed to break the unit. That is a nice bit of work there from Day. It's going to be hard now to use the cavalry of any great effectiveness. He's only got 6 men remaining. No, he is 5 or 6 silver star now, so he has a lot of experience under his belt, so he could pull this one through. And hopefully with the minimal unit size, I can finally upload and for his unit's broke. No way. Such is life in the zone. But as things such as unit size, hopefully this battle is a little bit quicker, so hopefully I can upload in HD once more for you guys to watch on Demi's channel. Kind of quick look, see what units he's sort of got here. Might be wise to send out some of his Nagata Samurai, put them in these formation just up slightly so you got some cover from these, and the range on these bow war monks are amazing. Probably with that high level up, we've got the 200 sniping range on them. Try and do as much damage as you can at the advertised bodyguard. As you can see now, Artie appears to be going for an all-in, setting all his cavalry up on the right hand side. As you can see, he's going to be very careful of these cavalry. He's going to line up his Yari infantry, try and support as much as he can. Might be wise to bring this unit down across, but saying that, yep, I did see some fire cavalry coming from that side as well. It's very difficult now to hold on to these line charging on the side, plus with these amount of men, the bulk of ArTy's army is the Lone Slash Guard. But the Lone Slash Guard in the patch recently has, oh god, the guns took down a lot of bodyguards. You have to be very careful with that. The Lone Slash Guard in the patch, as I was saying, has made them slightly ever so weaker. As you can see, they're already starting to rout there already with like 2 men missing, and cavalry hits from behind, which I doubt Day was seeing because he got War Monks here. He's going to be very careful what's happening on this side as well. Plus he's got a whole barrage of men hitting from his front. He's going to try and get these guys here into the fray against the fire cavalry. Try and keep his general safe, and he can come in, rally his abilities, and try and support these lines here. So he has hit the war cry ability against the Lone Slash Guard. Their morale will plummet heavily since their avatar is way over here, the general. Although by the looks of it, he has managed to break Day's general. We're seeing his units now going to have quite a bit of a waver and loss of faith here, especially with the guns going off as well. The side is used to, well, no, I thought he decided to use his guns as melee. He has, wasn't sure I'm too fond of that. He has enough men to deal with this, plus the guns would have made a nice morale shock against it. As you can see here, he's still got some of his cavalry left, and he's got his general's bodyguard left, which you can see just there behind the flags. Fire cavalry coming in from another charge, though it is against the Yari infantry. Is right from behind out of their radius of defense. Plus with the devastating charge that the fire cavalry has, high impact, started a mass rout here, and that appears to be game already. It was pretty good play. Day did some nice work with cavalry, especially up on the side. It's a shame that he lost it due to the lack of men in the squad. And GG, some courtesy still lies within our people. Thank you for watching. I have been Carpus. Enjoy.